So hi, this is Erin Blanchette, and this is the music in my life. Quick family background. My mom played the piano and clarinet, and my grandpa was, I believe, the biggest influence genetically on my music. He was an amazing trumpet player and even was offered a job to play with Tommy Dorsey. He turned it down, though, to be a band instructor and start a family. So yeah, performance is kind of everywhere, and that's the main sort of theme of this presentation. So childhood, I want to point out that music was everywhere. So yeah, we sort of see here how the musical harmonies were very enforced to me very young. I started to hear them instead of the little kid songs, which I did get a little bit of. But my parents were very adamant about playing music that they liked, so I got to hear the rock and roll sort of chord structure and everything from a very young age. I was also always singing. So my parents always say that I sang a lot more than I would talk, and so this became a way for me to express emotion at my young age.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Big bad wolf, big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? La 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 la. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Reindeer had a very shiny nose, like a light bulb. And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows like a flashlight.
So yeah, that's my brother shown there, and I always made music with others. It was how I communicated with people. I wanted to, do a show, make a song. I was always excited with music. It became a sense of community. I did this thing called kinder music too, with other kids my age. So I learned to express myself here with others through music. So moving on to a little bit older, I started to explore my mediums of music. So one avenue I started was choir. Let's start here. I also tried orchestra, playing the cello. And I also started out with jazz band as well in these years. And then I found my own voice through solo gigs. So yeah, this was really a time in my life where I was starting to become my own person. I was figuring myself out, and this sort of mirrored, I think, musically with all my eclectic things. I was involved in some other activities I didn't show here, but yeah, I played all sorts of music, and all my activities I noticed at this point in my life were music. I did no sports, no sort of academic, extracurricular things. I found different mediums, though, was the big thing to express my emotions and to express myself, with both solo gigs, orchestra, things like that. And I started learning new harmonies, jazz, classical, new sounds that I hadn't heard that I could express myself and really latched onto the different sounds. I sort of, at this point in my age, found myself through music and through performing. It was the only thing that really made sense to me in a time that was very confusing, and a lot of the struggles that I went through personally, I could sort of channel into these music activities. So I continued and stuck with it. Orchestra was one route that I continued to advance in. I also stuck with the jazz thing and in college as well.
I'm gonna love you like nobody's loved you. Come rain, no, come shine. Deep down along in the night, there's no one. Don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Come on, darling. Quand nous prendrons ses bras, il nous parle tout bas. Je vois la vie en rose. Il m'a dit des mots de tous les jours, et sans faire quelque chose.
And then through college, I also got involved in jazz choir. Giant steps there, and I also took giant steps into my arranging. So these are some examples of finding my own voice through arranging my own music.
Baby's good to me, you know. He's happy as can be, you know. He said so. He's in love with me, and I feel fine. I feel cold in the winter time. The sky won't snow and the sun won't shine. It's hard to tell the night from the day. You're losing all your highs and lows. It's funny how the feeling goes away. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed. Some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain.
So yeah, this was a place for me to go deeper with the meaning of music in my life. This sort of became my identity, and it was a way that I made sense of the world. Music and my emotional library, if you will, expanded in doing all these performing avenues. I used to use music to make sense of the world. There was a sound for every feeling, and it became the way that I started to process emotion, and that's still how I get through tough times and things like that to this day. I pushed myself as a person with new harmonies, jazz theory, arranging, all that good stuff. And the big takeaway, I feel like, is that I'm coming to understand what makes music so special. It's kind of a continuous journey that I've started and am going through and still doing with music therapy. So I feel like that'll continue to evolve over time. So yeah, thanks for listening to this presentation.